Hey everybody, it's Dr. V. Welcome back to my channel. I want to go ahead and just hop on and do a quick teaching training-ish on narcissism. I'm doing this because I've had a number of people in the last couple of days comment and say, I think my twin's a narcissist, or that sounds like a narcissistic personality, it sounds like narcissistic traits, and so I want to go ahead and just touch on this. So Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I ask for guidance from my sacred counsel, higher wisdom, divine love, my ancestors, my guides, ascended masters. Draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside. May all the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. So let's talk about narcissism. A couple of things. I'm probably overly cautious with this, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm really hesitant to use the term narcissist because it is a specific description for a specific type of personality, and as not as many people, I mean, you would think that narcissism is like, you know, as popular as a Starbucks or as common as a Starbucks because people use the term so casually. And I really need to be careful because I'd encourage people to be careful because someone having narcissistic traits or somebody exhibiting the traits that we would consider narcissistic, like self-centeredness, lack of self-awareness, inability to take personal responsibility. Somebody having those traits doesn't necessarily make them a narcissist, and so we just be cautious with that. Narcissism is, and I hear this quite a bit actually in the twin flame community. I hear a lot of people talking about their twin as though he or she might be a narcissist, and it always gives me a moment of pause when I hear that for two reasons. The first reason is that, like I said, narcissism is, I think it's only like 2% of the entire world's population is actually clinically diagnosable as a narcissist. And so I think we need to be very careful about using that term to describe people who are being assholes. And secondly, the bigger issue, and this is what I always come back to, is that if you think that your twin is a narcissist, if you feel like they're exhibiting narcissistic traits, why are you staying in that connection? Because a narcissistic person is, by and large, what we would consider a person who has, also let me clarify this. A person can have narcissistic traits and not be a narcissist. Somebody can have show narcissistic tendencies and not be a narcissist. And so it's a subtle difference, but it's an important difference in my view. I think that we need to just be very cautious that somebody can exhibit narcissistic traits if they feel wounded or if they feel threatened. That doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. Okay, so I want to say this about the twins that I hear talking about their twin being a narcissist. Like, oh, I think my twin is a narcissist. And I'm like, okay, but narcissistic personalities and people that are in that narcissistic kind of energy are what we often I call energy vampires. They take from you, they suck you dry, they come into your life and they just consume and consume and consume, and then when they're done with you, they discard you and cast you aside and go and find somebody else. And so if you're in a relationship or you're in a connection with somebody and you feel like they're a narcissist, then the important question is to ask yourself really is two things. One, what am I supposed to be learning from this? Okay. And two, why am I tolerating this? Why am I putting up with this? Just because somebody is your twin flame or you believe somebody to be your twin flame doesn't mean that you should stay in a connection that has those kinds of tendencies. If you feel more negative when you're with that person, or you feel like they're just consuming you and they don't have any empathy and they don't see your humanity and it's this dark negative energy, why are you staying in it? Seriously, why are you staying in it? So, oops, I just blew a bunch of papers everywhere. So it's something that we really need to ask ourselves, okay? It's like, why would we continue to remain in a connection with someone who is harming us? Why would we stay in a position with somebody, any kind of situation, with someone who is causing you pain? Okay? That's legitimately a question. I don't care if they're a twin flame. If they're a narcissist, truly a narcissist, or even if they're exhibiting narcissistic tendencies and it's hurting you and it's keeping you from ascending and it's causing you to feel bad about yourself, then it's not a healthy connection. Even if they're your twin flame, they're not healthy for you right now, and it's okay to say, no, I'm not going to put up with this. Not only is it okay, but it's right. Because we have to love ourselves first before we can love another person. And you're not loving yourself if you're putting up with somebody treating you like crap and making you feel bad. period, plain and simple. So I want to just pull a couple of cards on this. So Spirit, for those people who feel like their counterpart is a narcissist, can we get some insight into that? What is the lesson that is to be learned here in this situation if you're a person who feels like your twin flame is a narcissist? Look at that. Union, the Hierophant in reverse, and this Ten of Swords in reverse. So we've got this, like, this is to me, this is a twin flame confirmation card. So this is to me saying, like, look, this could be your twin flame. It could be, absolutely. And you may have all these ideas about traditional marriage, coming together and having like this happily ever after. That's the Hierophant or Hierophant in reverse. It's like society, religion, government, traditional institutions, okay? That you may have that identity, but look at this. This is a person who, this is being stabbed in the back. This is one of the most painful cards in the tarot. It's like, why would you know, if someone is still in this energy where they have stabbed you in the back or they've betrayed you, and I'm not saying there's not space for forgiveness. There is absolutely space for forgiveness. I'm going to do a video on that, and we need to be really mindful of that. Like, we forgive people. But forgiving someone doesn't mean that you are in a relationship with them until they've changed, okay? To come back together and have a relationship with someone, they have to have healed. They have to have transformed. It's not okay. We keep putting ourselves in situations where we're harmed over and over again. So the Ten of Swords in reverse is about literally that you can avoid danger, you can avoid disaster, you can avoid this being left in the face down in the snow with swords in your back, if you take caution and if you heed the red flags. It's like make changes immediately. If you see the red flags, and I'm literally preaching to the crowd right here. I'm seriously, we're preaching to the choir, because I ignored red flags in my situation. There were things that I should have paid attention to, you know, a month before I started paying attention to them. So I'm not sitting here in any way, shape, or form trying to cast shade or throw shade on people. I'm saying that this is part of the growth journey, is that we have to recognize when we see signs and when we see indications that it's our responsibility to take the steps and the measures to protect ourselves. Like, you can protect yourself from this pain, or for continuing and to perpetuate this pain, if you use wisdom and listen to what's being said and escape that situation. So what is the advice for these individuals, Spirit? Look, we've got the Ten of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Swords, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So the Ten of Pentacles is like having it all, the happy family. It's the, you know, white picket fence kind of energy. It's the advice that Spirit is saying is like, go pursue that. Pursue that happiness, that fulfillment, that joy, that peace, prosperity. And the reality is if your twin isn't in a position to offer you that right now, it's cool. Go and create that happiness in that situation for yourself. Your happiness cannot be tied to your twin. That is codependent. If you are sitting here saying like, well, I can't be happy, I can't have this Ten of Pentacles or the Ten of Cups energy unless I'm in union with my twin, that's codependent energy. If we're dependent on anything outside of ourselves and Spirit to make us happy or to keep us happy or to find fulfillment or to get into our purpose, then we're behaving in codependent energy, and we're preventing ourselves from ascending and from potentially getting into union with our twin. Period, point blank, plain and simple. So pursue this fulfillment. What would that look like for you? How can you create that happiness? How can you create that without your twin present in your life? If they're in that lower level energy where they're coming across in a way that you're questioning, like, are they a narcissist, or are they narcissistic tendencies, or what's, you know, if they're in that low level energy, because that's really low level energy. I mean, we're talking about people who have no sense of self outside of what other people think of them. It's a really low level energy, and they're going to pull you down. I'm telling you, they will pull you down. It is very, very difficult to transcend and to rise when you are with somebody who is like a psychic or an energetic vampire that takes from you, that literally it's like they plug into you, they take all of your energy and they go away. If that's the kind of energy that your twin is coming to you with, it's going to be incredibly difficult for you to ascend and to rise. Why would you want to stay in that situation? Why would you want to remain in a situation with somebody who is preventing you from rising, who is preventing you from transcending? They have to do their own work. And the fact of the matter is that they have to decide to rise above. They have to decide to do the work to get out of that I was just having lunch with one of my best friends, and she's also a healer and she's divine feminine, and she's just an amazing person. And we were talking about this perspective that at a certain point you have to recognize that somebody else has to do their own work, and you can do all your own healing and you can do all the work in your own self, but unless your counterpart is doing their work, they're not going to heal. And so I think we have to let go of this idea that we have to be with our counterparts to be happy. Pursue your own happiness. This Five of Swords, this card is about, it's about conflict. It's like, this is literally a card of somebody who just likes to cause strife. Okay, since we're literally talking about those of you who are suspecting or who've wondered if your counterpart is a narcissist, this is a person who just likes to have strife. This is a person who will continue to cause fights, cause beef, because they have literally an inferiority complex. They don't feel good enough, and so they like to fight. And they feel rejected, they feel dejected. This could be, karmic issues that they've carried in from past lives. This could be that they had shitty parents that never told them they loved them or that were mean to them, and they have their own healing to do. That there's no judgment in that. I have a lot of empathy for people who grew up in those kinds of environments. But I also realized that there's a certain point where we have to decide. Either we're going to continue the path that we've always been on, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten, or you can choose to rise above. And at this point, this person that we're asking about, the person who the counterpart that you think might have some narcissistic tendencies going on, is choosing to continue to stay in that energy. They're choosing to stay in this strife causing, constantly being at odds with other people, because that's where they get their juice from. Even negative attention is attention, okay? I know that sounds like bizarre, but let's just be real. When we talk about it, it's like you see little kids. When I used to work in psychology more, like I worked with younger kids, and it was like you'd see kids that would be acting out a lot, and it was like, well, attention is attention. As long as someone's looking at you, they don't care if they are... if it's negative attention, you're still paying attention to them, you're still feeding them. And so that's the thing, is that they don't care if it's like causing you pain. If they're in this narcissistic space, they're not thinking about you, because all they're thinking about is themselves and getting their own cup filled. And so that's just the choice that they're making right now. And then we've got this Ace of Pentacles energy that's in reverse, which is about having difficulties. This is material difficulties. It can be related to finances. This is saying there's a need for greater stability. Your sense of security has been shaken. And I'm telling you right now that when you're constantly in this energy, when you're constantly having to protect yourself, or you feel like someone's constantly coming at you with some kind of negative, darker energy, it's really freaking hard to get stable. It's really, really difficult, because you feel like emotionally imbalanced. You feel that emotional instability, and it's difficult to rise above that. It just is. It's plain and simple. It's like climbing up a mountain with a freaking backpack full of rocks. And so it's like, if you want to get to this, you're going to have to get out of this energy. You're going to have to stop engaging with this negative energy, with this lower level energy that your counterpart is bringing to you. This literally, I'm going to just say this plain and simple. This has less to do with them than it does with you. If you continue to be in a situation with somebody who is hurting you, who causes you pain, and who is just taking and doesn't give back, then there's the big question is, why am I doing this? What is it in me that is engaged in this? What need is being fulfilled in me that continues to come back to this situation? Until they have changed, until they've literally changed their behaviors and come to you in a more respectful, honoring, divine way, it's perfectly fine. Not only is it perfectly fine, but it's perfectly divine to say, no, I'm not doing this with you anymore, because it's causing me this instability. It's causing me in this 3D reality, my spiritual self, my material self, to feel unstable and uncertain. So let's look at that. What is it about you that is, what need in you is being met here? Yep. Wow. Look at that. So this need, what this is doing for you, that's those of you that are staying in these connections, again, and please don't hear this as judgy, because I'm not saying that at all. It's literally like it's keeping you stuck. It's keeping you hanging out. You're in this space of hanging out, and it's that, to be honest with you, is safer for a lot of people. It's safer to stay in a situation. It's like, well, at least you know what to expect from your divine counterpart, and at least you know you have the hope that they're going to heal and transform, and so you're feeling protected. Even though you're not moving anywhere, you're not going anywhere, the connection isn't doing anything, you're still feeling like, okay, I'm safe here. I don't have to move. Because if you were to get out of this hangman energy, you're going to move to the Fool. And that's going to require you to take a leap of faith, to leave the situation as it is and say, look, divine counterpart, I freaking love you. I have no judgment for you. I will always unconditionally love you, and I will always believe and hold space for you to achieve your highest self and your highest good. I believe that you can do it, but I'm not doing it for you, and I'm not going to put my life on hold while you work your shit out, if you even decide to work it out, because a lot of them haven't even decided to take a step toward that. It's like, if they're showing narcissistic tendencies and they haven't even gone to therapy, if they haven't even acknowledged that there's something wrong that they need to be working on, then you can't do that work for them. You can't, I mean, you can try. You can certainly grab a horse and drag it toward the pond, and you can put their head in the water, but you sure the hell can't make them drink, okay? Period, plain and simple. They have to choose. It's like, there's this old joke, it's a psychology joke. How many psychologists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to want to change. Totally lame. But it's the point being that they have to want it, okay? And if you want to get unstuck and you want your life to go forward to this 10 of Pentacles energy, you're going to have to be willing to take this leap of faith. You're going to have to be willing to put them in the care of the divine and be like, divine, I don't know what this person is doing. I don't know what this is about. Like, whatever they need to work out, I pray for them. I hope I wish their highest good. But I'm going to go ahead and take a leap of faith. I'm going to get myself unstuck. I'm going to take this leap of faith, go with this new beginning, pursuing my dreams, my happiness, my fulfillment, because that's what I feel led to do. And that's going to be what I'm going to do, just because I don't want to be stuck anymore. This is what Spirit is saying. This is what Spirit is saying. And so you've got this Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay? The Queen of Swords is saying, this is a person, let me turn it around, untrustworthy. Someone is not, it's not trustworthy energy, okay? This is like, the Queen of Swords in the upright kind of cuts things and eliminates things. In this reverse, and saying that this again is a card of being at odds with another person. This is a card of conflict. It's a card of it's just this energy of just not being at peace. Plain and simple, it's not being at peace. It's like the Queen of Swords in the upright can be someone who, it's like you miss somebody, you can be in that energy. It can be someone who is, quick to cut somebody off, like I said yesterday with Cardi B. That can be that energy for sure. But this, in the reverse card, it's literally saying that, and this is what I'm getting from this, like, if you really have any hope whatsoever for this person to come back around, for this person to do the work to heal, to take upon their own burden of healing and not expect somebody else to do it for them, you may have to cut them out and let them feel the pain of your absence. I said this to somebody a while back. I talk in like meme form sometimes, I swear. I said, if you can't appreciate, or if I was talking to somebody else, and I said, if he can't appreciate the gift of your presence, then he's going to have to feel the pain of your absence. And this is for male or female. If your divine counterpart doesn't feel the gift, doesn't appreciate the gift of your presence, if they don't look at you in awe and they're like, God damn, like, I am the luckiest person alive, like, what an amazing freaking gift. If they don't feel that way about you, if they're like taking advantage of you, and all of those things that people talk about with this narcissistic stuff, you may have to cut them off. You may have to let them feel what it's like to live without you, so that they can understand what it is, what a gift it is to live with you. I'm not saying this in a manipulative way at all, because it literally is about you saying to yourself, if you decide to pull out your sword and cut this connection in a mindful, loving, spiritual way, And which, by the way, fuck off can be spiritual and loving if it comes from the right space, okay? I'm not going to get into this whole spiritual bypassing bullshit where people are like, oh, it's all love and light and rainbows. And no, that's not. Sometimes spirituality is fierce, okay? Sometimes spirituality is, I use this example a lot. Sometimes spirituality is Jesus going into the temple and being like, you guys have made a market out of my Father's house, like, and grabs a whip. Man, Jesus grabbed a whip and he was throwing tables over and like chasing people out, literally with a freaking whip. And if you've ever seen The Passion of the Christ, you know that those whips weren't anything to play with. They were like for real, right? Jesus was not playing in that moment, and he took on that Queen of Swords energy where he was like, this is not going to happen. So let's be real that sometimes you have to, eliminate people and eliminate toxic energies from your life, and you can do it in a decisive way without being cruel about it, okay? Love is fierce. Love can be very fierce. You think about like a mama bear, right? It's like, I watched this commercial and it was like a mama bear or moms or something, but there was this mama bear in like this car. It was a kid, like a human child walking with its like quote unquote mama bear, and it was a bear, and the car comes and like squeals its brakes because it didn't see the kid, and the mom bear stands up on her feet and like, rages at this driver, and the car's like freaked out. That is the mother bear energy. That is that self-protective energy. And we would do that for our kids, right? If you have children or people that you really love and somebody was being totally abusive to them, you would rise up in your fierceness and you'd be like, oh, hell no, not on my watch. But when it comes to ourselves, we like sometimes let people like shit all over us, and then we're like, but we wouldn't allow that. We wouldn't let our best friend be in that space. We'd be like, y'all need to get out of that. That's not good. So it's like, take that same fierceness, that same ferocity, that same deep, passionate love that you would feel for somebody else and turn it towards yourself and be like, no, why would I put up with this? Why would I allow this to happen? The reality is that they may need to feel some pain to be able to appreciate you. That may be the case. Again, don't do it from a manipulative space. If you cut them off, if you decide to take this message from spirit and roll with it, it's like, don't do it from a manipulative space. Don't do it because you feel like, well, I'm going to like do this and then they're going to come back, because that's not pure energy. Do it because you love yourself enough to say hell no to anything that doesn't serve your highest good. Do it not because you're mad at them, okay? This is literally what I said to my divine masculine when we went into separation. I said, it's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't love you. I do. I love you with everything that I have within me. I just love me more. And right now, this isn't healthy for me. This isn't a healthy situation. It's a toxic connection. It's sucking me dry. It's not serving me anymore, and it's not good. It's not serving you. It's not serving me. We're not serving humanity. Time for us to like take a step back and figure out what it is that we want. And that you can do that. You can be in that space. So let's see. What do we want to do next? I'm trying to figure out. I don't have a format or anything for this reading. I literally just like felt like I needed to do it. So what is the lesson that is being learned here, Spirit? What is the lesson that's being learned? Wow. We've got the 7 of Cups, the 9 of Cups. Wow. And the Knight of Cups in reverse. That's a lot of cups, a lot of emotional. This is about emotional healing. A lot of why this is coming up is emotional healing. This is like, the 7 of Cups is about choices. You have a choice. Everybody has a choice. I say this, you've probably heard me say this before, so forgive me if it's redundant, but 7 of Cups is talking about, there's choices, there's like, you're headed towards your wishes being fulfilled. This is like, things that you want. This is like, things that you desire. That it's about, there's a lot of choices to be made here. There's always a choice, okay? Always a choice. When people say I didn't have a choice, that's not accurate. Everybody has a choice. The choices might be shitty, for real. Like, let's just be real. It's like, I'm gonna be extreme here, so just bear with me. It's like, if somebody's like, you have a choice, you can either like, jump off this cliff, or, let me think. I'm trying to think of something that's not too like crazy. but we'll just, I'm going to use this example. Even if somebody is like holding, hey, dangling you over a cliff and being like, either you do this or I'm going to drop you. You do have a choice. Even in that situation, you have a choice whether you're going to go to, stay with true to yourself and get dropped to your death, or whether you're going to betray yourself and live your life. Whatever, that's an extreme example, but I think you get the point that even in the most dire of circumstances, we do have a choice. And how we choose to respond, the path that we choose to take, whether we choose to go forward. And Spirit saying, look, the lesson here is that you do have a choice here. Even if it's a twin flame connection, even if you love this person, even if you feel like it's fate and destiny, you do have a choice about how you continue. And if the relationship isn't healthy and you're not feeling good in it and it's not helping you to ascend or get to your higher purpose, you do have a choice about walking away from it. For now, for forever, whatever that decision might be, but it is your choice. You do have that option. And one choice is going to lead to you having your wishes fulfilled. Okay? Whatever, you can choose to move toward having your wishes fulfilled. This is like, you can. This wish fulfillment, this is the Nine of Cups, is like your dreams coming true, wishes fulfilled, that kind of energy. Or you can move toward this, well, let me look at this, because I was reading this one way, but I feel like Spirit just gave me a nudge to pause for a second. So just give me a second to. Okay. So what Spirit is saying to me is that this wish fulfillment is a possibility. You can have your dreams come true. You can have this love, this dream that you desire. You can have the success that you wish for. But you're going to have to get your ducks in a row. You're going to kind of have to get your poop in a scoop, as the saying goes, and do your own emotional healing. And this is going to require you getting some distance. If you look at this guy, he's like kind of rising above. He's like kind of floating above. This to me says taking some emotional distance, like taking a step back emotionally, and looking at things a little bit differently. Because right now, you have this Knight of Cups in reverse, which is like, this is about a withdrawal of affections. If it was in the upright, it would be an offer of love. This one is a withdrawal. This is kind of pulling back. It could indicate quarrel. It could end saying like, you're really declining an offer, like thanks, but no thanks. It could be something about just literally like just taking a step back. Again, taking a step back. Taking a delay, pausing, putting a pause and like the saying, just put a pin in it, take a step back, dedicate yourself to your own healing and transformation, doing your own work. It doesn't mean that you're rejecting it all outright, that you're saying no way in hell this is ever going to work out. It's just literally just saying like, maybe right now you have a choice. You continue on the path that you've been on, pursuing this connection, staying in connection, feeling all this energy that you've been feeling that's leading you to feel like your twin is a narcissist, or has narcissistic tendencies. Or you can choose the other path, which is emotional withdrawal. Take care of yourself, pick up your pieces, put them back together, heal yourself, do your work, put a pause in the situation, and allow things to shape up, to see how things shape up in a different way. But I really encourage you to just sit with that. Like, what choice is it that you have, and what choice is it that you're making? What choices have you been making? And is that leading you where you want to go? How we get to our destiny is determined in the steps and the decisions that we make every day. It's like, if you want to be, fit and healthy, you decide that by the choices that you make, the food you put in your mouth, whether you go to the gym, whether you exercise, all of those things. And so this is literally the same thing. If you want to manifest union with your divine counterpart, like, what are the choices that you're making that are leading you? Are they leading you to that, or are they leading you away from that? And paradoxically speaking, sometimes we have to walk away from things in order to get to where we want to go. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to move these cards aside. This, by the way, is the Spellcaster Tarot that I'm using, that I was just using. Those cards are the Spellcaster Tarot by, and I don't remember her name right now. Melanie Marquise. So I'm going to just get two final messages for this. I said it was going to be a short reading, and now it's 30 minutes, but two final messages from the Oracle of Shadows and Light. Spirit, some final messages on for those who think that their twin might have some narcissistic tendencies. And this is the Oracle of Shadows and Light by Lucy Cavendish. So final messages from Spirit. So we've got the ghost from the pumpkin patch. The sea beacon fairy. And faceless ghosts and the haunted girl. That totally does not surprise me at all. So it's saying count your blessings. This card of ghosts of the pumpkin patch is about counting your blessings. This to me is saying, like, what is the blessing in this situation right now? Yes, it's been difficult. Yes, it has been not, it's challenged you. It's been painful. What is the blessing in it? In my particular situation, the challenges pushed me to heal. It pushed me to heal in a way that I haven't been pushed to heal before. It pushed me to face things that I hadn't, because it was so painful, to really look at what it was that I was healing. It also challenged me to look at the ways that I was and wasn't loving myself. I'm just gonna be perfectly frank with you, that I was like, what is it about me that is accepting this? What is it about me that is saying, like, I'm okay with this? Even if I'm not okay with it, I'm engaging with it. So there's, what we permit, we promote. That's what Daniel Boone always says. What we permit, we promote. And so by the things that I was permitting, I was promoting a certain behavior, and it forced me to really take a look inside and be like, okay, sister, this is pointing to a wound in you that needs to be healed. So what I'm getting from this is like, count your blessings. This has brought you somewhere. You've gotten something from it. It's been a lesson. It's been really great. It's been, it's probably hurt like hell, but there's some good in it. There's some benefit that you're getting from it. And that's the blessings. Like, dig through the poop. Sorry, that's gross, but dig through the poop to find the jewels in it, okay? And then see what you've gotten from it, count your blessings, and then decide what you need to do from there. The sea beacon fairy says, there's guidance, but where will it lead you? And it's like, look, this is a choice that you have to make, okay? The choice that you're on right now is like, are you on the right path, or are you following something that's going to lead you to, like, off the cliff? Not in like the fool kind of way, not like in the leap of faith kind of way, but like crash into the rocks below. And this is literally saying, like, just because you feel like this is the way you're supposed to be going, or you feel like you've been guided to go this way, is it truly the best path? Like, literally, this is as saying, let's take some time to look at the guidance that you're getting and where it's leading you. Check your feelings. Is it your feelings that are leading you a certain place, or is it spirit that's leading you a certain way? Is it possible that you just need to stop and kind of take a pause and wait and see what comes next? It's like, don't follow every light that comes along. Okay, so this is going to be ridiculous, but I hope there was a movie, I think it might have been Finding Nemo, where it's like they're following this light. Yeah, it was, I think. No, it was like Shark Tale. Anyway, it was like a kid's movie. I have kids, so I watch that shit all the time. But it was like they were following this light, and it was like do 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 do. And they're following this light, and it's all they're like, oh, this is great. But it turns out that it was like a lure for like a killer fish. And so once they got close enough for the fish to be able to eat it, and like the fish lit up, and it's like suddenly they see that they're in danger. So it's like, just because you're following this path, just be sure that you're not walking into a trap, okay? That's all this card is saying. Trust your intuition. If you're asking yourself, if you're questioning whether this person is a narcissist or has narcissistic tendencies, you're already getting some red flags. It's just like, just listen and take a pause and make sure that what you're doing is in your highest good. So this faceless ghost of the haunted people, this card literally to me speaks to that kind of narcissistic wounding. And it says, and I'm going to read this to you because it feels important. It says, the faceless ones are coming to me, trying to take advantage of what they see as my moment of weakness, but I do not fear them, as I know they are blank, formless, and simply taking on any energy they can find. I know who I am, and I clearly see that they do not. They are simply spirits who have lost their way, and so they feed off of others. I may not be at my strongest at this time, but I am stronger than they will ever be. They will not feed off me, for I know who they are and what it is they seek. I do not wish them harm, but neither will I give my energy away to them. I will also warn you to do the same. Okay. All right. Wow. It says, some people either do not have fully formed identities, or they're too easily taking on the beliefs and the ideas of another. You may be asked to join with their beliefs and be alarmed at a mindset and belief system that seems very blank and faceless. So on and so forth. Know that until they find their own selves and commit to following that path, they will be as blank pages written upon whatever hand comes near them. Do not be like this. Make your own mark on the world. Wow. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, okay? This says, I'm going to read this again and I'm going to end it on this note. I do not wish them harm, but neither will I give my energy away to them. I will also warn you to do the same. So that is the message that Spirit wanted to come through on this, is my twin flame a narcissist. And I hope that it resonated. I hope that it gave you some insight. I love you all so much. Really, truly love you all so much. That's why I'm bringing this message forward. I love you all. Thank you for being here and for being on this journey with me. If you would like a private reading, all of the information on how to do that is in the description box. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.